What up, everybody? My name is Drake Demore from the WinCity Sports Podcast, and this WinCity Sports exclusive covers the 8th annual Georgie-Odette Leadership Symposium at the Odette School of Business. The Georgie-Odette Leadership Symposium is an annual event targeted at students and business professionals, bringing together proven business leaders who speak on various aspects of successful leadership. It is funded by the Richard Petty Leadership Initiative in order to help develop students' leadership and capabilities at the Odette School of Business, University of Windsor. It included some very outspoken speakers, including Vice President of Digital Media for the NHL, Karen Gordon. Now, tell us a little bit about your experiences and how it's vital to gain those experiences.
Well, I do have a solid background in digital media. I'm considered a pioneer in the digital media space. I started in 1997. And I quickly became an expert in setting up digital media sales divisions, hiring people, training, recruiting, empowering. And then really I got headhunted after my first digital media job, and then developed this expertise to go into companies, traditional media companies, and start up their digital media division with that same sort of formula of bringing people in, training them, coaching them, empowering them. And I kind of got bored after a couple of years at each place, and I'd move on to the next thing. I had an experience in broadcast, print, radio, pure web, and now the NHL.
Yeah, and of course, media has expanded so much since '97. I mean, that was very new to digital media, I suppose, at the time. But do you feel like just gaining as much experience, whether it be in the volunteer field or work, is very vital to gain a resume and a portfolio, I suppose, to get to a position where you might be?
Yeah, I think it's really important to have sort of a widespread background of experiences, different companies, different volunteer as well as work experience, and then be exposed to different things within all of those companies, whether it be the job you're focusing on, but also the other divisions within the organization, so you can have a big picture of how the company is running, and then use the vision of the organization to constantly drive the business you're running within.
Absolutely, I would agree. And always capitalizing on opportunities, like myself being here today as well as you. So how did it come to be for you? Were you invited here, or?
Yeah, Richard Petty, I guess he found out that I was an alum of the school.
Okay.
I went here in the late 80s. He knew that I was in sports at the NHL, and that I'm a graduate of the Odette School.
Yeah, okay.
So those three things were what he reached out and thought that I'd be a great asset for this thing. Being a woman also adds to the diversity of it as well.
Absolutely. So having a connection here, I get to kind of come back, see Windsor, I suppose, see the school. What are your thoughts on the event so far today? We're only halfway through, but how's it been so far?
I think it's amazing. Like, I came in last night for the dinner, and I was really impressed with the students and the organization of the event at that time. Everyone is seemingly so excited about the day and really leaning in to take advantage of all the speakers today. So I'm thoroughly impressed with the energy in the space.
Another speaker that stood out was David Hopkinson, the global head of partnerships for Real Madrid Club de Football. Awesome. So you have a pretty interesting story yourself, a Canadian working in Spain. So briefly, how did it all come to be for you?
I was the chief commercial officer at MLSE and ran the revenue side of that business for quite a while. About a year and a half ago, I got a call on a pretty interesting assignment. Real Madrid was looking to go through a transformation in how they go to market. They were looking for some different thinking, and they were looking abroad. Went through a search process, and now I've lived in Spain for the last year and a half.
Very interesting, actually. And to make it even more interesting, I read that article about yourself. It goes way back to 2001, or 2001 when the Raptors started. They were talking about you guys in the office there, and now
further back, I think we started playing 95.
94, sorry.
I started playing 94, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, with Richard here in this event, it kind of comes all full circle in a way. You guys are both coming down here, so for you, what does this mean to be able to speak at an event as such?
Well, I think there's two dimensions. One is, you're absolutely right, Richard Petty asked me to do it. Richard was a great mentor of mine, a friend of mine, a sponsor of mine in my career, so he asked and I said yes. And I didn't know really anything about the event when I said yes. I did it as a favor to Richard. Okay. As I learned more about the event and the quality of the event, the quality of the other speakers, it was terrific to come, and I'm enjoying my time here, and I think they put on a great production. I'm glad to be a part of it.
It's fantastic, man. And you have, again, quite an extensive background. So for someone who it might be wanting to get involved in the sports world and maybe make it to a spot similar to yours, what advice would you give to someone that's very fresh into the industry?
Sell something. So, I think a lot of people want to be in sports marketing, and I've been in this business 26 or 27 years. Everybody wants to be in sports marketing. And I meet very few people who say, listen, I want to help grow revenues. When, like every other sports organization, we think about revenue every single day. We think about marketing sometimes and revenue every day. And so certainly I do in my career. And differentiation is part of getting ahead and getting your foot in the door. And I think delivering and selling something is a great place to start.
Absolutely. You got to kind of simplify it a little bit in a sense, right?
Yeah, I think, look, the fundamental problem we have in sports is that, the demand exceeds the supply of good jobs. So how do you set yourself apart? Revenue is a potential path to set yourself apart.
Overall, yet another successful event for the Odette School of Business, event organizers, students, and all attendees. For WinCity Sports, I'm Drake Demore. Smell you later.